Darren Carter for the Premiership. The Premiership!
Well, hello and welcome to another edition of Carter's Corner, where we review the previous Blues results and preview the upcoming fixture. Of course, we take a look back on a defeat to league leaders Norwich City on Tuesday evening before looking ahead to the visit of QPR to St Andrews. Darren Carter, of course, joins me, and Carts, as we say, lots of positives to take from that Norwich City performance, particularly in the first half. But when you come up against a side with the firepower that Norwich have, you have to be at it for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's certainly that. I think they're obviously top of the table with a healthy lead now over the rest. Because of that, they are ruthless, and it's them fine details in games. You know, when they get opportunities, they take them and they punish you, and that's certainly what happened on Saturday at St Andrews. You know, Blues had some really, really good periods, created some really good chances, but when you don't take them against good teams, you know, they punish you. And you know, with Timo Pukki as well at the top end of the pitch, you know, he gets goals. That's why they are where they are. So, you know, at this level, at Championship level, it's fine margins, fine details, and certainly at the moment, it seems to be going against Blues, and mistakes are getting punished.
Yeah, and some of those positives to emerge, though, from the first half. I mean, the intensity at which Blues pressed high up the pitch, they were forcing errors, spearheaded by Scott Hogan, who I think creates the chance for the first Blues goal. Ivan Sanchez scoring his second of the season. But the positives in the way that there was an energy and intensity to Blues that perhaps we hadn't seen up until recent weeks.
Yeah, I think we talked about it pre-game, didn't we? That this run at home at St Andrews, we need to turn it around some way, and the only way that you do that is by trying to create that energy, that positivity, that momentum, and they certainly did that, like you say, especially straight out the gate on Saturday. You know, from the first whistle, there was an intent there was intensity, and they create some, as we say, really good chances. So that's what it's going to take. Not get too down on the mistakes and the goals conceded. As I say, it's fine margins at the moment, and the only way that we're going to rectify this home form is by sticking with it and making sure that you come out with the same energy, same positivity, and same performance level. Because if you recreate that week in, week out, you're going to get more often than not points on the board, wins and draws. So that's the message that I'm sure Aitor Karanka's giving to his players, and the players should take confidence from it anyway. The league leaders have come to St Andrews, and they've had to work really, really hard to go away with the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, QPR to St Andrews. So taking a little look at this one, as we say, 14 games remaining. So we want to start picking up some points, particularly at home. But a team who arrive in pretty decent form off the back of a goalless draw against Preston on Wednesday. But it's one defeat in 8 for Mark Warburton's side. They're unbeaten in 7 on the road, winning 3 of their last 4. They've hit a real purple patch. It's put them slap bang in the middle of the table, really. 9 points off the playoffs, 12 off relegation. But, you look at a game at this stage of the season, at home, when we're as desperate for points as we are, this is a big opportunity for Blues.
It is, and as you say, they're one of the form teams in the division, if not the form team. So, and you talk about that unbeaten record and some of the wins as well. They're beating the teams at the top end of the table. They've had some fantastic wins over Bournemouth, Brentford, Watford, Cardiff. So listening to Mark Warburton, talk about this game, I think he's sort of put the importance on them that they seem to raise their game against the teams at the top, and they've maybe switched off a little bit at teams that are floating around at the bottom of the table. So, hopefully that's, a good omen for Blues. And, will they come, to St Andrews, take their foot off the gas a little bit? You don't know. I think another point is that they played Wednesday night. So Blues obviously have got 24 hours on them. They obviously travelled all the way up to Preston. So they're travelling again, Friday night to come to us. So, these things take a toll, and again, listening to their manager's interview, he's saying that the importance for them is to try and get recovery. A few players have got a few niggles, so hopefully these are things that will work in favour of Blues. But there's no doubt that they are a form team. They've got confidence, and with that they'll come with a bit of energy and look to to come and win. Their record at St Andrews over the last few years is very good. So everything points for them for a positive outcome. But as we mentioned, it's time to turn this home form around, and what an opportunity to do that against a team banging form.
From a Blues perspective, how difficult is it for Aitor Karanka to get that same intensity and energy that we saw in the first half against Norwich, when you consider it was a big shift at Hillsborough last week? They've been asked to do a lot of work off the ball against Norwich during the week as well. Just a few injury concerns. Of course, Ivan Sanchez, he complained of a groin problem. I think Raheem Harper was withdrawn because of the sheer number of games he's played recently, compared to the sort of 23 fixtures that he was involved in for the past 7-8 months. So to ask them to go again for the third time in a week, is that a big challenge for Blues?
It is, and I think a lot of people don't realise that the toll of playing games on a weekend, then midweek, and then again back on a weekend. It does take a real toll on the players, and recovery is always key. And when you've only got 2-3 days rest in between to not only get over the previous match and do all the post match and stuff from that, it's again then preparing for a new opposition. Getting the recovery into the legs and getting the energy levels back up. And as I mentioned, for Blues, they do have that 24 hours over QPR, so that's got to be an advantage. But everybody's in the same boat, as we know. There's games galore now, and a lot of teams and squads are being stretched to the limit. I think with us at the moment, Blues, we've got some really good options for Aitor Karanka to go to on the bench, and within the squad we haven't got touch with many injuries. I know Sam Cosgrove is probably a week or 10 days away. So yeah, you keep your fingers crossed that players can stay fit. But yeah, I think you've just got to accept the challenge as a player. We know the schedule. Prepare right, do everything right that you need to off the field, and make sure you're ready come game day.
Absolutely. It seems that Blues' goal scoring, Scott Hogan's hit a little bit of form, but so too the QPR for the second coming of Charlie Austin. Of course, returned during the January transfer window on loan from West Bromwich Albion. 3 goals in his 8 appearances since rejoining the club. Scores against Blues, doesn't he, as well? He's a player who has a goal out of nothing. Is he one that you're going to watch closely, Carts?
Yeah, he's their main man, isn't he? And obviously he's in form as well. And his record against Blues, he's pretty decent. So listen, I think in this division, a lot of teams, some great forward players, and even with Macaulay Bonne on the bench as well. He's a player that I've seen firsthand for his time at Leyton Orient in the last couple of seasons. So they've got options. But Charlie Austin is the spearhead, isn't he? And his record at this level is very, very good anyway. He's a player that obviously is looking to prove himself on loan, dropping down from the Premier League. So, he's hungry for goals, and that's certainly something Blues have got a plan for, and make sure that we limit any chances for him or any touches in and around our box.
2 away games after this one. We go to Huddersfield and Barnsley next week. Does it feel like a big week for you, Carts, this coming up to, as we say, just 14 games remaining? We're slowly getting into the final few months of the season. Do you feel like now we need to start picking up those 3 points?
Yeah, we've said it now, and we've probably the last few games now that you don't want to run out of time, and you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are really having to scrap and fight to keep up and stay close to the teams around you. You don't want to get cut adrift. So this, next 2-3 games, the need for points is massive, and obviously there's pressure on that to go and win games or get points. But you'd rather do it now and give yourself a little bit of leeway going into the real crunch time. Once you get into single-digit games, points will be a real premium. So it'd be good to get some momentum and maybe look at the QPR. Look what they've done. They didn't have a great start to the season. They've got better as it's gone on. In their last 7 games, they've really got on a roll and found momentum. And I always mention that word. If you can get some momentum, that winning mentality, because I think that is a real mental thing at the moment for Blues. Once you win a game, win a couple of games, go back to back, that can be huge for everybody. So listen, the next 3 are huge and massive for us. We need to get points on the board.
Yeah, finally, Carts, you look at the league table now, of course, as we record this, sitting in 21st, one place above the bottom three. There seems to just be a little dogfight emerging between the clubs down there. But, like you say, string a couple of results together, and that mid-pack, that sort of the next load of chunk of clubs aren't too far away for Blues.
No, they're not. And if you can drag a couple in there and make them look over their shoulders, then great. Maybe they might have a little wobble. And as I say, if you can be a team that are looking to, looking on the up and trying to claw your way up, you can drag teams in. And again, it's a mentality thing. So, listen, Derby have put a few, wins together. Forest are the same. Huddersfield are just, floating above there as well. So you've got some really, good teams with good players and good squads. So, as I say, the urgency, if you like, for us now to really go and get some wins, and just like you say, try and put some distance between us and the bottom three. I know they have games in hand below us, Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham, but get them points on the board, and ask them a question, if you like. So as I say, huge couple of weeks for the club now, and go and attack it. Embrace the pressure. Embrace the challenge.
I think that start of a positive run could be this Saturday, Karch. Your verdict on the game?
Again, like I say, all the stats and everything are stacked against us. But this St Andrews, voodoo that we've got at the moment, it's got to end at some time. And again, going off the performance on Saturday at Norwich, I liked what I've seen. I liked the energy, as we mentioned. We're creating chances. It's them fine details we need to eradicate. So the fact that, as I say, QPR might be a little bit fatigued, and we've got the edge on them with the 24 hours more rest that we've got. I'm always the optimist, and I think we'll get the win. First win since October. I think it's coming.
So a big one for Blues then at St Andrews this Saturday. It's Jonathan Bell and Dele Adebola on Blues TV duty. Darren Purse joins Hayden Atkins in the Blues TV studio. It's of course available on pay-per-view for a match fee of just £10. We hope you can be there, and we hope to be discussing a big 3 points come next week.
And how fitting that it should be a true blue born and bred who took them there.